Only us two. No Liz. Unless she, yeah. You want to take? Hold that, Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be with you shortly, and kind of run through the Philippines. Philippines, you know, it's great that they're here again in the semifinals. This is their second finals appearance. I'm sorry, here at WCBU. Of course, in 2007, they surprised a lot of people by getting all the way to Brazil from the Philippines on a 3-leg, 20-plus hour journey to get there and shock everyone and get into the finals and almost winning the finals. And, you know, there's clearly stiffer competition here in Italy this year, and they've still been able to rise to the top. They took out the Italians, the undefeated Italians in the semifinals, really with just an onslaught after the game was sort of knotted up, and there was a lot of chippy calls on both sides, and they had a spirit stoppage of play, and the teams were kind of in each other's throats, and it just ended up the Philippines kept their cool and rode it out to an impressive 13-6 win over Italy, who just sort of
13-4 win.
Well, 13-4.
13-4.
Italy just kind of lost their bearings, is the only way to put it. And the Philippines did not. They kept their cool, Tom, and that's why they're here now in the finals.
Well, I saw that game, Tony. It was one of the most fascinating games I've seen. Yeah. You're right. It was choppy, and both players made calls that they probably regret making. If they look back on that, with a calm head.
Sure.
And the Italians called a spirit timeout.
Yeah.
And the spirit timeout did exactly what a spirit timeout's meant to do. It cleaned the game up, but after the spirit timeout, the Italians only scored 1 point.
Yeah, they looked lost.
They looked
like they
completely lost their way. Yeah. So the Philippines team just obliterated them after that. The Italians have been in the game pretty much. They were down a few points, but they were in the game. But after that spirit timeout came on, I think the big difference was the smiles on the faces. Every time they score a point, they're just smiling and hugging, and they're so happy. They were showing off to the crowd, loving the action, and even when they're protesting a call, they do so with a cheeky grin.
The Philippines love to play. They love to play on the beach. They live on the beach. The beach is their life, and they really like this sport. This is the sport for them. For this team, this is an aging core of players, Tom. There's 3 young guys on this team, maybe. Otherwise, it's the same crew we saw 4 years ago. So, and you can't say the same for the United States. This is an entirely new United States team that's been kind of remade by USA Ultimate to really compete here in this tournament. So we have an aging core of veterans versus kind of a new all-star put-together team in the United States of mainly grass players that are here to try to compete and win a title.
And we've seen all the way through this week some of the USA lines, because of the nature of the way their teams have been put together as sort of all-star teams.
Correct.
That there's been some difficulty with them sort of gelling. And Liz was saying earlier that last night when her team, the USA Mixed Masters, were down 3 points against Great Britain, and because they were sort of a group of players that hadn't really got the experience of playing together very much, they found it really difficult to get that sort of team mentality to fight through the difficult times and come out the other end. And it became a mental game, and that lack of sort of that deep-seated sort of team bond.
Well, Tom, we saw that in the Italy game. We saw that when the United States played Italy. They didn't know which lines to go to, who to kind of like tighten up, but that's not going to be the case here. When I saw them play against Switzerland, they had their lines defined. Here, when I played with the USA Masters, our lines were defined by the time we got to the finals, so same situation, we were working it out. Calling out the names here of all the players. Let's let this go through.
It's going to be a very good game. Very good game. So can you just take us down the line, because it's difficult for the people watching on the internet to hear the names of the people. So Tyler Kinley being shouted out there, the Sockeye. Is he Sockeye captain, Tony?
He's the Sockeye captain this year, and not for the Philippines. Ball boy. Ben Yap. There's ball boy. It's Clyde. Datu Sumbalan. Hendricks Manning. James Yap, number 7. Number 0, Jason Lopez. Number 6, Jeffrey Rodriguez. I was going to forget his name. That's Jobert. Jude Lee is a big player for them. Ken Cabrera, the leader of the team in a way. Christian Guerrero is going to be huge for them, Tom.
Yeah.
Panoy de los Santos, who was the defender of the tournament in Brazil. Went Sembilan, founded the team in a sense.
No, you won't see Karen take to the pitch, but she's definitely in charge.
She's the team mom, Karen Cabrera.
She's
handshakes all around here.
Oh, some of the Philippines players have wandered off to the wrong side. They've forgotten what they're meant to be doing, hand slapping their opponents from the USA. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Vince. I'm not waving at you, Timmy. Now, if you were in any doubt that this game is going to be big, we should just look at the results that these two teams have had this week. The USA beaten by the Italians earlier in the week, and the Italians then beaten in the semi-final, having come through an extremely tough quarter-final themselves. The Philippines are beating Canada in the quarter-finals, then beating the Italians in the semi-finals. But both teams defeated, because the Philippines in the opening match of the tournament, the Philippines were beaten by the Italians as well.
Italians beat both teams, so and they're not here, and these two teams are.
Isn't that remarkable?
to come over and say a few things too, so maybe we'll get a little interview with here in a little
Sure, in a timeout. Okay, we're going to kick things off right now. We're launching the Open Final here from the World Championships of Beach Ultimate in Lignano Sabio d'Oro, the beaches of Italy. I'm Tom Stiles.
Tony Leonardo here. We're at the pinnacle of the sport for Beach Ultimate here, the Open Final. This is the one everyone's been waiting for.
It's going to be a hot game. These two teams haven't faced off all week, but everyone's been looking forward to a really, really tight one. The Philippines coming through a difficult journey here, beating Canada in the quarterfinals and then annihilating Italy in a very one-sided game in the semi. Italy previously undefeated to that point and looking very, very strong for them to take the title themselves, but unable to deal with the rapid Philippines style of play. Dragon style, Tony.
Dragon style is correct. Very fast movement, very quick. They look one way, and if it's not there, within a half a second, they're swinging it back the other direction. They always have a backhand grip at the ready. They're kind of a backhand grip sort of team, and it's just a fast kind of give and go.
And the USA representing in all 6 finals, and so you don't have to think for a second before you work out which team the crowd are going to be cheering for. The Asian All-Stars from the Philippines are going to be the crowd's favourites. They've been playing with a certain flair and a certain likeable style. They're an extremely popular team around, and virtually everyone at the trade night was trying to trade a Philippines shirt with whatever they had.
Ready for a show?
I got Tyler Kinley down here with us. Tyler, you guys ready to rock this one?
Yes. Yes, we are. We really respect the Philippines, and I think today's going to be a show.
Best of luck out there, Tyler.
Thanks.
Here we go then. Oh, I'm nervous just standing here, Tony. What's it like for the players out there? They must be terrified. Now, the good news is the wind's dropped right away.
This is a good point. The wind was a serious factor in all the earlier games. And here's the pull, but it's not a factor tonight. Bull boy with the disc. Swings it over to Clyde. Clyde's looking up the line for Jason. Can't find Jason. Jason's looking for Jeffrey Rodriguez downfield. And Yap gets it back to Clyde. Gets it over to Boy. Boy is going to get it up to Jason. Lopez has a chance with Yap underneath, but no, he's got Rodriguez busting deep, but Rodriguez comes back under. Rodriguez, they're still getting their unders on this. USA knows to stop the unders. This is Dragon style.
This is so quick. I can't believe how fast. There must have been seen 20 passes already. And the first infringement. The Philippines so rapid. Their play is so quick. The change of direction is very, very difficult to live with. You see physically the difference in the size of the players. And no options available, but eventually a cut.
Jeffrey
Conklin going to the floor.
Conklin for that. Now Rodriguez is looking downfield for Yap. Fakes it, but gets it back to Lopez, who finds it's Clyde.
Clyde on the far side of the pitch.
He can't find anybody now. They're slowing down a little bit. Now he's desperate. Now it's a layout block.
Teddy Barrajoris with a huge grab, and he's going to send it straight to the end zone. The USA containing the Philippines offense for just long enough. Teddy Barrajoris with an unstoppable grab to get the disc for the USA, and they pop it quite nicely in for the number 1 shirt in the corner. And the number 1 shirt for the USA is Mark Poole from Atlanta, Georgia. Plays with Chain Lightning.
Hey, you look at the roster of these Americans here, the club teams they play with. Revolver, Chain Lightning, Ring of Fire, Johnny Bravo, Mad Cow, Chain Lightning, Truck Stop, Ironside, Sockeye, Pony, Voodoo. That's a lot of good teams right there.
You put your notes away. So we got.
Maybe you need this.
I do need a little bit of this.
So, did you play? I was just going to give you the tip for that.
Sure. So the game is underway, and the wind has completely changed direction. It's almost not a factor in this game after being such a big factor in the previous 2. Certainly the Masters final was dominated by the wind. And the disc is
with the pull.
Drop down nicely. And the Philippines looking for options being closed down quickly, but they're nice to get a little bit of flow there. Is it a zone from the USA or really poaching man?
This is
a zone. It is definitely a zone, isn't it?
This is what they wanted to do, was to stop the Dragon style, but he's got no count on him.
There was no force on there. And a throwaway from the Philippines. The USA going to be advancing quickly. Matsuka with the disc. Throw into the end zone. It's
Inselman with the goal.
And that was incredible from the Philippines. They couldn't work out what was happening with that zone. Tony, can you just talk us through what the Americans were playing, what zone it was that they were using? Because for a while it was tight and it looked like a man, but then as the disc was swung about, the spaces didn't exist.
Well, they've been varying the zones they play. The primary zone here is a 2-2-1, so they've got two guys that run down to kind of mark the disc, one kind of into the flat there, and then they have kind of a two-man wall. That looked a little different. That looked like almost a traditional zone. If you notice, there was no mark on Jude Lee when he had the disc.
It's almost like a Japanese-style zone where you leave the middle point open as the swing goes across, and you only close them down after sort of 5 seconds if the disc hasn't moved. That was exactly what the USA did there. The floodlights are on here, but they're still very bright, and the disc into the end zone for the Philippines. They start moving now. Boboy with the disc finds Jeffrey. To Boboy again. Jeffrey with another cut back. Nice work between those two. Disc fast. And this time we've got a bit of space. We're going to see it go deep. Oh, terrible disc. The number 00. 00 with the turnover. Jason Lopez with the throwaway after the cut. The cut from Ben Yap was a great cut. And a foul on the mark there. Boboy getting a little bit too close for comfort. These big Americans can ride that sort of challenge, no doubt. But a great take there from the number 7,
Eric Brock.
Brock going to ground.
To Poole.
And sends it down the line. It's a beautiful disc. It's Matsuka in the corner. What a disc there from the number 1 shirt. It's Mark Poole. Floated that disc beautifully down the line. The sort of disc that hasn't been possible in the 2 games up until now. But right about now, the USA take a 3-0 lead against the Philippines at the start of this Open final. Their defense has just been huge, Tony.
Well, we kind of knew they had to take a timeout if the USA scored, and here it is, as predicted.
Have a spare. They'll be fine. Yeah.
So, the Philippines, they've got to find a way to find their give and go without the pressure of the United States. So they're going to have to be 100% sure of their throws is really the key here. So I'd imagine the timeout they're going to talk about just kind of keeping the composure. They went down early against Italy like this, where their nerves were sort of, a little bit frazzled, and they didn't feel like they were in the right rhythm. So they know how to just play chill here, find the rhythm, and hopefully get a point on the board, and that's the way to start it.
We're just going to flick our camera off at the next point, so change our battery. We don't want to lose. We don't want to lose the battery at a key point in the game, so we'll get it done early in this match. The score is 3-0. At the next point, we will. You'll lose the camera for a minute, just as we change the battery. But at the moment, the USA in the ascendancy with 3 quick points, using their reach on the layouts and completely closing down all the opportunities the Philippines team have had so far. Brian Conklin now with a big arcing backhand to the middle of the back of the end zone, and it rolls out the back, and that will be brought forward. And it brings to the front. Boboy sends a disc over the top. Moving quickly now, the Philippines, looking for the backhand reset. But again, we see this zone from the USA. It's no, it's not a zone. It is a zone. Oh, it's so difficult to see what's going on. It's a hard man chasing down Ryan, cutting out the space. Exton Titcomb now. Jeffrey cutting for the disc. He's going to send it into the end zone. Beautifully worked there from the Philippines. The crowd explode. Loving a bit of that there. And that's the sort of thing we're used to seeing, working it around the American defense. But again, so hard to see what that American defense is doing, Tony. It's just, they seem to be everywhere they need to be. And then you watch, and it's like it's not a man.
Well, they did. They flew in a defender that was poaching on that IO that went up to Christian right there. When it went flying by Christian and didn't get the block, Christian was able to find the open man. So they're leaving somebody open downfield, and Christian laced it into Ju Lee for the goal there. So yeah, their defense is going to mess with the Philippines, and now we finally get to see the Philippines on defense and see if they can find a way to stop the United States with that massive height disadvantage that they have. So they got their D-line out here now, which is, strangely similar to their O-line. With Christian, Pinoy, we got Hendricks, Jobert, and Jason Lopez. Rodriguez, my fault. Jeffrey Rodriguez and not Pinoy. And here comes the disc.
Lets the disc stop a second before they get moving. The USA looking for and he was almost baiting that swing pass there. The Philippines man waiting a moment before he takes to the disc. Kinley swings out. And big take there, high disc. And back to Kinley again in the middle of the park. He's got signals to Wilson to go deep. Wilson does go deep. The deep's going to be, so close, but it was Kinley overcooking the deep shot a little bit. Wind not a factor in that one at all. And
there's no call, but the Philippines look a little bit gassed here as they're trying to decide who's going to pick up the disc.
Well, perhaps the frenetic pace the USA have been expecting for them is something they're going to try and just slow it down a little bit where they get the opportunity.
The problem here is for the Philippines is the waves of defenders and offensive players the United States can send. The depth of the United States here is far superior to the Philippines. So in these situations when they're tired, this could be an issue.
You see Jude Lee just giving a few tips to Jeffrey and the number 6 shirt, and the crowd using this moment of pause to have a good shout of we're on the seaside, we're on the seaside, we're on the seaside of the pitch. And now the game's back on. It's a good minute and a half stoppage there from the Philippines, just taking their time to get this game going again. Christian. And options now down up the line, beautiful disc. He's going to be swinging it back across. And he sends it deep, he's going to be open, he's going to be free, the disc is perfectly weighted. What a deep shot that was. Christian with a beautiful grab in the end zone. The Philippines making it look so easy when they click together. Beautiful, and a big cheer from the crowd as well. They're loving this one out here. The Philippines scoring 2 in a row after the USA overcook a deep shot, and it's 3-2.
Yeah, the time was interesting. They took their time to kind of get to the disc, got their breath, waited a second, and then boom, it was like they were on. It was like the light switch, just instant speed. Everything was moving super fast, and that's the way the Philippines like to play.
And it's almost a completely different scene that we've got here from the first 2 games. We had overcast skies, and we had clouds in the sky and a very strong wind blowing down pitch, being funneled by these 2 big stands here in the Discraft Arena. But now that the Open final is on, we've got almost perfect conditions for Beach Ultimate. It's not too hot. Everyone's comfortable in their T-shirts and shorts. And the players out there are giving a proper display under the floodlights as the disc goes up and the crowd cheering. And right in the back corner, it's going to be difficult. Josh Ackley swings across. Is that McBride in the 50 shirt? Bats to Ackley.
That's Simon with the disc.
Sorry, Simon with the disc. Oh, number 10, isn't it? Yeah, number 10. Tyler Kinley making cuts. Simon back to McBride. Kinley again. Forced into their own end zone. Bid from the Philippines. He gets a turnover. No complaint from Dulabon. And now they're trying to score this one quickly. It's the Philippines that have generated the turn. The speed is on the sand. Oh, look at that disc right across the pitch. It's the 27 Hendricks.
Amazing play there. Hendricks with the layout block gets the score in return. You got to love Hendricks there making that play and getting the return.
So we're going to just quickly turn the camera off for a moment while we swap the battery. Our cameraman Patrick doing some...
Hey Tom, listen, you got to love that right there. They stuffed up the United States in the back of their own end zone. Weren't allowing them to get out. It was almost a Callahan D up here. 5 feet from the end zone.
It was
and
a beautiful layout.
Double happiness. 3 in a row now for the Philippines to tie this game up.
And you see the completely different styles of play. The Boracay Dragons, the team from the Philippines, playing this really fast, aggressive, and in some ways, I think they're baiting some of these throws. They're chasing, and if they think they've got the speed on the guy, they're leaving him half a yard free. Go and throw that disc. If you're going to throw the disc 20 yards, I can make up the ground I need to make up.
Yes.
I can. These guys are so athletic. And the crowd are absolutely loving this. It's a wonderful atmosphere. We hope that you're enjoying it wherever you are. And Kinley now. Barajaris. Kinley again. And the hammer from Kinley goes up. It's going to hang in the air. Oh, but Barajaris has read it perfectly. Nothing they can do to stop that one. A very, very rapid and clinical 0 point from the USA. Kinley's hammer to Barajaris was spot on, Tony.
Yeah, the Philippines are talking it over right now. You see Wins and Jude, these are the 2 leaders of the team, the veterans, are talking over what kind of went wrong there on D. It's not surprising after a 3-goal run on defense. You figure the offense has a little bit of an advantage here. It's hard to really get 4 in a row like that. So they kind of relaxed. USA, had an easy goal shot there.
Passy. They would say, I'd like to say a big hello to the Passy Ultimate Club. Where are they from, Tushar?
No idea.
We've got no idea where they're from. And a cameraman capturing this chant between the two sides of the pitch, but the game's back on again now. The disc floating out of the back of the end zone. Who's really jacked that one. That was a bit of heat on that disc, Tony.
It's interesting because it must have crossed the field of play, but it almost looked like it arced so far out of bounds that it could be way up here as to where it went out.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. If it doesn't cross the border of the pitch, it's going to have to be brought up to the sideline.
Looks like Pinoy is going to bring it up to the brick mark, however.
Pinoy had a great game against the Italians. Let's see how he fares in this situation. Poach into the lane from Titcomb, and Pinoy again.
Here's this 2-2-1 again from the States.
Nice work from the Philippines, working it around that. But no space on the swing on the far side. And he's going to be struggling. He finds a hammer over the top, lots of space for Jeffrey, but Jeffrey makes a mistake. Pinoy making a mistake on that, receiving that disc. Ackley. And foul, Bowboy and Titcomb colliding as Titcomb came forward. And I think he's caught his face. Titcomb squinting a little bit. Maybe take a blow to the face there as he was trying to pivot around. And got Josh Ackley from Johnny Bravo in the 20 shirt right in front of us. Stall's coming in on 5 and manages to find Poole. Over the top to Kinley. Grabs nicely. Kinley, disc over the top to Barajaris. Barajaris sends it deep. It's going to be Ackley chasing it down. Nice work from the USA. They make it look so easy when they click together like that. The tall, they're using the height. And the disc from Kinley to Barajaris to Ackley. The connection's clearly working. Very efficient. 5-3 the score. The USA extending that to 2-point lead again.
We're seeing a pattern here right now. It's been a game of runs. 3-0, 3-0, 2-0 right now. It's up to the Philippines to really kind of stop the bleeding here. They had a good chance there. That was a solid hammer, and Pinoy not able to drag that in. And they're down by 2 right now. We're looking over at the pitch here. The stands, and they're filled with players and fans, all lining up across the way here. It's really just a great scene, a great crowd. The sky is beautiful, encroaching upon, a couple hours before the sun goes down. And a placid sky and a placid sea here.
Reminds me of that Tom Cruise movie, Tony. Vanilla Sky, do you remember?
Yes, actually.
Quite a lot like that. The Philippines at the back of their own end zone. Oh, a little risky disc, but it's safely caught. And the USA just making it very, very difficult. Pinoy with the disc now. Back to the middle. Oh, beautiful, finding the gap. There wasn't much of a gap there, but what there was, he found. And over the top, and a mistake. It was number 3 making a mistake, Christian. And Inselman now. Inselman blasting the disc down low to McCall. McCall over the top. He's trying to find something over. He finds Matsuka. Space for Inselman. Oh, Inselman was making a ridiculous grab into the corner. He brings the disc down. Awesome play from the big American. He flew. He caught the disc fully extended. Amazing play from the USA.
Well, we've seen two hammers, or scuba in that case, that wasn't able to be dragged down by the Philippines. This isn't like an unusual throw for them. This is something they should be catching, but the rhythm of it apparently is affecting them.
Well, I think the moment it's this USA zone, which is being so difficult to break down for the Philippines.
Well, they're breaking it with the over-the-top throws, and that's an open throw and an easy completion of a pass. But somehow it's into the Philippines' head because they're thinking before they catch the disc of where the next throw is going to be, and that's kind of getting to them, and therefore they're not making a completed catch.
So Teddy Barajaris with the disc now. I hope you, wherever you are, you're watching and you're enjoying this coverage with us. You're listening to Tom Styles.
I'm Tony Leonardo.
Barajaris with the pull. High, lofted.
Out.
Is that going to go out? Yes, it has landed out, so it's going to be bricked again. We've not seen too many of the American pulls land in the pitch so far. A few mistakes, but that has been the only area of the game where there has been weakness. And that's Christian for the Philippines team. Taps the disc in. And moving it disc backwards and forwards. Ben Yap and Christian. And again, that nice quick pass with Jeffrey. Christian still. Blast the disc forward. Oh, beautiful. Finding the gap. The inside-out forehand so quick, so devastating against the Italians yesterday. And exposing the few holes that do exist in this USA defense. The crowd rising to their feet once more.
Well, that was man defense. So that explains a little bit of why the Philippines looked a little comfortable on that. It looked like they might have been going man forehand to try to mix it up a little bit, but the lacing IO forehand caught them off guard for sure.
There was definitely some poaches out there though, Tony, wasn't there?
It looked like a man defense.
Was there a few poaches? Poachy man defense? Okay, I misread that one completely. Apologies. That's why we have two of us out here, isn't it?
I mean, it could have been a poaching man defense. I'm not.
No,
sure.
I think I'm almost certain you're right. I was watching the disc and the Philippines team as Panoy sends that big disc down the pitch.
The Philippines needs a score here.
They do.
They
Kinley, Jude Lee marking, Panoy marking, Wilson to Kinley. Kinley for the USA now. Big disc going deep. It's going to be Panoy chasing it down, but it's going to be Wilson jumping in, catches two hands. And they make it look so easy when it all comes off. The disc from Kinley, perfection. The cut from Wilson started so early. There was nothing the Philippines could do to make up the ground. Very, very rapid over the sand. And the USA take another point away from the Philippines. 7-4 the score. You're right, Tony. The Philippines need to start clawing this lead back. The USA can just trade this out from here if they want to. Yeah.
And you saw a pretty interesting thing there. Asa Wilson, one of the faster players in the United States. You know, that kind of disc, Panoy is a great defender, really gets up in the air. Disc is any short, he has a less speedy defender. Panoy is getting that first. However, the Americans can match the Philippines in speed, which is very rare for the Philippines to experience. Usually no one can match them in speed. Wilson can match them in speed.
They're not throwing any sort of high discs and using their height advantage, which I think the crowds on the sideline probably appreciate because but these guys have got great vertical. Amazingly different teams physically. The Philippines now. Jeffrey.
This is the man.
On a bid from Conklin, but he didn't quite get to it. It's a 0-0, Jason Lopez. And they're having a bit of a hug on the floor. Is it Inselman? Across to Jeffrey. Jeffrey into the middle. And sand in the face. Just, who's that over the... Is that Clyde?
That's Clyde, yeah.
Clyde is a bit of collecting some sand for his trouble. Inselman just asking him to take a moment. There's a bit of water there. He's going to take a sub. Smart move. The sand here is very, very fine and dusty. And not grainy at all. If if you think you've got it all out, you probably haven't, as Clyde wisely just washing his face off with the water provided from the sideline. Big disc going up to the end zone now. Conklin chasing it down. He bids, but it's too far ahead of him. Jason Lopez collects that one in the end zone. And the crowd erupts again. They're loving a bit of this Philippines action. But the Philippines still trailing the USA. But Conklin went huge there. He was behind the man, but no doubting how much he wanted to get that disc. And he shakes his head, and the sand flies all over the place.
Well, that's all he could do. It was a great put. And, you know, on the beach, you need a step, a half a step, and you're going to be open. So if the throwers are there, the throw is there, almost not too much difference to what the D can do.
I think perhaps with these, the difference in height and the physical differences between the players out here, the Philippines probably need a little bit more than a half a step. Because, I mean, Conklin's reach there, as he was fully extended, was enormous. It was only down to the speed of the receiver and the accuracy of the throw.
Correct.
That was on. 2 steps. We'll go with 2 steps. Panoy with the pull.
This looks like it could land in.
And the USA in the back of their own end zone, and the pressure arrives straight away from the Philippines. Kinley finds Wilson, down pitch, Panoy marking. Wilson's going to look into jack it there. McCall was cutting, goes back to Kinley now. And down that line now, looking to send it. It's Wilson's gone again. He's gone fast and he's gone big. And Panoy can't keep up. And Panoy signals to these teammates. He's frustrated that disc is able to come out. But Wilson's pace again being exploited exactly as you described, Tony.
Well, there's a thrower that didn't show up in the game against Italy. Adam Chicken Simon is the guy who's going to put that disc up, and when he sees an inch, when he sees a step on the pitch, he's gonna put that. So and in the Italy game, we didn't see that. I don't know how he did on the Philippines game, but he's a guy that's going to be looking to put that deep. Him and Kinley. So you can see that kind of coming from a distance. So it's nothing the Philippines can do on that. When he's got accuracy, he's a killer.
We're seeing very, very high quality ultimate from both sides here. The pressure on the defense is hot, but when the accuracy of the throws is as good as it has been, you see Teddy Barrajaris send that disc. It's gone hovering high. It's gone round the floodlight. It's going to come back. And it's hit. Is it hit the tape? It's hit the tape on the back of the end zone. That would have been an audacious pull if they'd pulled that off. It went round the floodlight, Tony.
Wow, that was not the smartest of pulls. Very, very, very fortunate that landed in bounds.
And so the Philippines now starting. Jeffrey looked to jack it there, but he just stepped out of that. And exchanging passes with Boboy. Boboy now putting the disc down. Panoy's got it now in his hands. Jason Lopez, he's going to jack it. No, he's not going to jack it. Jeffrey was cutting. Clyde now. Clyde sent it. And it's a beautiful cut from Jeffrey, making all the ground up, leaving Matsuka in his dust, really. Matsuka caught out by the fast change of direction there. He was looking to mark the under, and he just went deep. The timing of the cut, perfection from the Philippines. And the score is 8-6.
Yeah, we saw this a little bit in the Italy game. The Philippines are hanging around. They make some errors, some drop discs, and they don't hang their heads. they're not. If the USA doesn't convert on O, they're going to get the crowd back in at the Philippines with the D here and a score, and we get ourselves a game. So we'll see. It's 8-6. The United States are in command here, but a little bit of slippage, the Philippines will be right there to take advantage.
I just wonder how much the Philippines are going to regret those 2 basic handling errors earlier in the game that led to easy scores. And the Philippines going for a similar high backhand pull, lands. There's plenty of pressure arriving straight away. Kinley making the move. It's Wilson making a cut now forward. He's got the disc. And McCall finds Kinley again. And Wilson set off. We've seen the same play again, but Panoy is going to be bidding. And who's that got underneath the disc there? The 10 shirt.
Yeah, Simon.
Oh, Simon.
It's really disappointing. You see Panoy really angry. They must be forcing backhand. And now they're talking right now. You see them on the pitch. They're talking to Joe Barrett. Jude's talking to him. Hendricks is talking to him. They're saying, we're not giving up that forehand. That's the second time that Panoy's been burned on the forehand over there. I get the feeling that they're trying to force backhand. And somehow there's a communication error because that wasn't a break. That was a forced forehand that came up. So They're going to have to, get on the same page here if they're going to get a D and get into this game.
It's a big American line stretching their lead to 9-6. And we're seeing the same offense run from the USA a couple of times now. They're using this deep shot very effectively, and it's Inselman with the pull this time. Philippines pick up the disc. First pass out, and we see the hammer across the top. The zone has arrived again. McCall, two of the biggest players on the pitch, McCall and Conklin now. But the Philippines have got the flow going. And the USA set up again. Conklin coming across to cut out that swing pass, but it has to go the second time. Jeffrey now with the disc. Conklin arriving, arms waving again. Big man, floaty disc across the pitch, beautifully exploiting the space on the far side. And they're getting the applause of the crowds for every pass at the moment. They're signaling with his hands where he wants to play. The USA guys, Sean McCall, Brian Conklin, getting a bit tired. Inselman still in the middle. Hammer across the pitch again. This is indoor zone play. Beautifully worked out. Beauboy on the far side. He's going to get the disc now. Inselman's going to bid. He's not going to bid. He's going to hold itself back. Beauboy's with the disc now. He's got space. And the USA is flown a hammer into the end zone. Oh, what a grab. What a point. Audacious hammer down the line. The USA frustrated. Seemingly no answer to the speed of Jeffrey. And the hammer, was it Beauboy threw that hammer, Tony?
Yeah, well, that's one of his, he's got that in his tool bag. Beauboy likes those overthrows. He threw all those hammers there. Finally wanted to just bust it out, make it for the goal shot, get this team fired up.
And just look at Jeffrey's face there. He has collected most of the Italian beach all over himself. He's getting a beautiful commitment to go and get that disc. He's washing the sand off himself, but he's got it in his mouth, it's in his eyes. And
hey, that's it. That's what the Philippines need, a little bit of energy here from the offense, Really get excited, get the crowd into it, and see what they can do here on defense. Hey, it's a great time to talk about a little bit of just the Philippines here. They're sponsored by a number of groups and organizations in the Philippines, specifically Boracay. And, there's a number of nightclubs and hotels in the area that help this team get here to Italy. So they'd like to give congratulations and thanks to them for support, because otherwise it's difficult to come all the way to Italy and compete and train as these guys have been doing for months in time.
To Kinley. Kinley signaling long. Back to Simon now. Barajaris has come, but Kinley's change of direction is rapid, and that's made himself available again. Back to Simon once more. Simon on to Barajaris on the far side of the pitch. And floaty. Was that a floaty lefty over the shoulder to Kinley? Barajaris has gone deep. He's going to be so free in the end zone, and it's a beautiful play from Barajaris to Kinley, working the 1-2. Is it the lefty from Barajaris to Kinley?
Yeah.
And then he went with such speed, he just tore away from the 10 shirt of. Do you know what's the
Joe Bear?
Oh, Joe
Listen,
Bear.
The Philippines have got to recognize Tyler Kinley. They can't let him get the disc. They've got to play him under. That's one man that they don't mind going deep. He's at the same size as every Filipino player out here.
Yeah.
Why not play him on the under? Don't let him throw those passes. Force him to go deep. Otherwise, he's going to do what he just did there. That's a second or third goal he's thrown right now.
Absolutely.
Backhand, forehand, it doesn't matter. They've got to stop him, and you got to play him on the under.
I was watching Kinley's cut there, and he just seems to put a foot down, and immediately he's going the other direction. He's very, very rapid, and his throws have been absolutely immaculate so far. Exploiting
it's harder
the
to do
space.
an execution on paper. It seems like, just play him on the unders. But
so let's see how we're going to go from here with the pressure building. 10-7's the score. The Philippines now looking. Is it Panoy? And Beauboy. Beauboy's floated across the top. We've got this USA zone forcing the Philippines back into their own end zone. Jeffrey coming for the cut on the far side. And he's right in the middle of the back of the own end zone. The USA zone finding no space. There's no deep threat at all. And they're going to have to send something deep soon, surely. Even when that disc was swung out, there's no space deep. This is a deep shot now coming, surely. Surely there's going to be a deep shot here. Beauboy. It seems strange that now there's space on the far side of the pitch. Near side of the pitch, Jason Lopez. Beauboy. Lopez looking, Lopez cutting, Beauboy with the disc. Conklin fouling. But, and is it Lopez goes to the disc? Goes to the ground.
Yeah, he's been hit. It looks like he's kind of knocked in the noggin there. So
Matsuka.
Just kind of gotta get his senses back real quick here.
There's a very, very big mark from Conklin, getting quite physical with Beauboy there. He's a massive guy. They've seen friends. And Jason Lopez now with the disc, looking for a quick way through this defense, but there doesn't seem to be one. He's going to send a hammer right into Beauboy's path. Sort of big European dump pass there. Conklin goes flying. And it's a big grab there for the USA. And he's Mark Poole going up and grabbing a huge disc. But in the process, as he twisted in that grab, I think he got...
like Pinoy down on the ground.
Yeah, he's got a face full of sand and no...
That's Jeffrey Rodriguez, yeah.
He's just come back from a face full of sand and now he's got another one.
Yeah. It's unfortunate they're going to need him out there.
Yeah, he's going to have to wash that stuff off. But yeah, we see a big dump pass for the Philippines. But during that attack there, they had a deep option which they just didn't seem to exploit. The disc going to go back again. Poole starting a little bit Ben Yap not in the right position at the start of that point. He'd taken up a defensive position against Matsuka, and Conklin just bringing that to attention of the #1 shirt, Mark Poole. Matsuka now with the disc. Nice little snap of change of direction. He's
call going back. Looks like a pick call.
Oh, it's pick call, yeah. Matsuka's pivot was...
it was a sneaky throw, wasn't it?
Very, very quick, yeah. It was impressive stuff. Inselman making himself available on the far side. Stoll coming back in on zero. And Matsuka shouting to his players. Conklin now to Barajaris. Barajaris, the laser disc. That's going to be big, surely. Yeah, Mark Poole unable, having to pull out of that one. The metal fence, which is a good 3 meters out the back of that end zone, catching that disc.
That's a grass throw is what that is.
It was a real laser from Barajaris. He's lefty, isn't
he? Lefty,
yeah. So it's a good early take from Clyde.
Beauboy's got Yap deep, but he's going to holster it for now.
Yap is...
Now he's going to put it to Christian.
Poole trying to get position on this one. And great position using his height from Poole. He judged his run. He adjusted the way he approached that disc 3 or 4 times as he...
He did. He stopped and started. I think that was a kind of a crafty move there on Mark Poole. And then Christian, normally I've seen him go up big. He's one of their big, receivers in the end zone, and he can really climb the ladder there. But Poole got to him there. Well, he had the position. Still, a great play, Mark Poole.
Barajaris now with the disc. Inselman looking to jack it, but he doesn't. He puts it back. Mark Poole, floaty disc. Inselman goes out, double-handed grab, making sure of that. Barajaris now. He's going to send it backhand. Inselman's chased down. He's going to be out. Is it going to be out the back again? Inselman keeps his toes in beautifully for the USA.
It's a goal.
They invade the pitch. It's 11-7. Beautiful work from Inselman receiving that after exchanging the discs with Barajaris. And those tall Americans using their height and using their speed.
A little bit of a backbreaker there, Tom. Tom, this is that's an 11-7 score. Now it could have been 10-8. The Philippines kind of a last gasp almost, I feel. 4-goal lead at this point of the game. I'm not sure how they're going to be able to overcome that deficit. We'll see what they do. They've got all the chance in the world. If their D can get a D, they can stay on D once the time cap comes on, which should be fairly shortly. And hope that the Philippines can make it happen. A little comedy on the field here.
Two players from one of the other nations running towards each other and taking a bit of a blow in the process. I think I'm not sure if he got a blow to the face there. Yes, he's got a bit of a cut and he's still smiling, but it looked like quite a blow. I'm not sure if you caught that on their coverage, but
well, that's why you don't do that. He's bleeding from the forehead. keep that in mind next time you're going to run onto the field and do something a little bit stupid.
Yeah, those Tigers, they're dangerous. So the Philippines are 7 points. The USA in the blue are 11 points. Big, low force. Titcomb now forcing. Jeffrey with the disc. He sent it. It's going to be Wilson chasing it down. It's going to hang it long enough for him to get there. He's misread it, though. Wilson misreading that disc, getting sucked under. And the perfect read from the Philippines receiver.
Hendricks Manning really kind of had a nice little read on that.
Wilson had the legs to get there, though, Tony.
That was Brock. That was Brock there, who was there in time.
Sorry, yeah.
Didn't quite get the read.
Same hat as Wilson. My bad. Yeah, Brock getting there, but the great read from Hendricks. He just stepped out. Maybe did he fish him in a little bit with his run?
I think he saw the pass the entire time. When you're an offensive player, you're looking back downfield. You see the arc of the disc quicker than the defender does. So he didn't need to fish him in or out. He just sort of knew where the best positioning was, whereas Breck didn't have that opportunity. You know, he had to turn around after chasing him and look up to find where the disc was going to, arc towards.
So the pull comes in. You're watching the final of the Open Division, the pinnacle of the World Championships of Beach Ultimate from Lignano Sabbiadoro. As we see the USA in blue, Tyler Kinley. They lead by 3 points in this final. Sean McCall catches.
Still giving him the unders. They've got to not let Tyler get the disc.
He's getting free a lot, and he's making good use of it. Big bid from the Philippines. Sean McCall now. Nice pass out to Simon. Simon has got McCall cutting for him again. He just pops it into his path. And the veteran from Paganello has made himself so available for Simon. That easy pass into the end zone. But Sean McCall making all the play there.
Shiny Mac wanted that one. Listen, this guy's a champion. He's won Paganello 3, 4, 5 times. I can't even count anymore. Loves the beach. They play beach in Houston, which is where he lives and from. This is like home ground for him in a way, just playing on the beach here. He's a little bit older than the rest of these open players, but he really made himself available there.
Incredible turn of pace here, and we a little bit subdued in the crowd now. The crowd going for the Philippines throughout this game. In fact, they've been going for all the teams that have been down. So a clash of heads been the Tiger and the Gladiator there. Let's not talk about that too much. We've got Matsuka with the disc for the USA. They're within 1 point. There's a time cap on, Tony. They're not going to need it if they score this one. The USA within one of taking the Open Division Championships from the beaches in Italy. And a little flutter. And the disc starts for the Philippines. He's sent it. Conklin chasing it down.
Clyde, beautiful
Clyde
throw.
has read it beautifully. The Philippines take that disc down. What a throw. Is it 0-0? Jason Lopez.
Jason Lopez painted that throw. He put it in the only place that the Clyde could get to, with two taller American speedy defenders chasing it down. Kind of slipped it in between them. Beautiful pass. You can see how comfortable they are on the beach and with their throws, and with this lack of wind, it's really kind of benefited them that way. Yet still, the American defense on the zone has stifled them, and now they're facing a game point here on defense for the Philippines.
You see the body language from Brian Conklin as he came off the pitch there. Just how did they do that? How did they throw the disc? Well, I couldn't get to it, and the guy that's a 1.5 foot shorter than me could.
Out in front, Tom. You put it out in front.
But you've got to go around two of them. He's got to go around two of them to get it there. Beautiful disc from the Philippines, showing the skill, and the crowd cheering defense. They're really wanting to see this game tighten up, and the USA within 1 point of a victory. The floodlights starting to make an impact as the golden skies. Beautiful picture for ultimate. Tyler Kinley to Wilson, back to Kinley. Kinley still available for these cuts, and he sent it to Wilson. Wilson's chasing it down. Going to be back from Datu, but Wilson brings it down, and the USA have won the Open Division of the World Championships of Beach Ultimate from Italy. They invade the pitch, dominating the Philippines, seeing their defense completely closed out, the more flamboyant, shorter side from Asia, and they have deserved this win, outplaying their opponents here on the beach. 13-9. Tony, what a game. We've witnessed some really spectacular play here in this Open Division final.
Well, you saw what Beach Ultimate can do. It's a fast-paced game, beautiful puts, beautiful Ds. It doesn't slow down, not a lot of stoppages of play.
Beautifully clean game.
It was a very clean game. It's a great example of the spirit of the game and of Ultimate itself. Let's watch these guys celebrate, give each other high fives.
Yeah, we were chatting with the guys from the Philippines. I know you know them very well as well, Tony. And you know they live on the beach, they work on the beach, they get a lot of support from their local community to come and travel to these tournaments. They've been out to Europe a number of times. They travelled out to Brazil in 2007 and set the tournament alight with their completely different style of play. I think in 2007, when someone saw the Philippines on the roster, they thought it was a bit of a joke. But they soon woke up to the fact that this is a force to be reckoned with in Beach Ultimate. Really phenomenal players. But the USA, smart way of picking your team. You've got a lot of players around the world, around the country, who want to come and play in Italy. They had a very, very thorough selection process. Everyone that was here today had to fill in forms and go to tryouts and then go to practices in pods across the country. They've been working out the kinks as a team all week, and in that final the zone was so strong, the connections between Kinley and various receivers was so strong, and they were the better side on the day, no doubt. We're seeing a bit of Brazilian dancing here from the Brazilian team. I think this was the dance that took over the Brazilian beach in 2007. Everyone that was there will know it. And Patrick's joining in, and a lot of other people who.
Patrick's leading the dance.
It looks a lot of fun, Tony. You're not joining in? I'll look after your microphone if you want to join in, Tony. Just be my guest.
I do have a skirt. I have a grass skirt from Curry Island. It's possible I could run in there and join in. But, next time.
The Brazilian mixed team are having a great time out here in Italy. A lot of differences between the team tournament that ran in 2007 and the one that's run here this week in Italy. A much smaller event back in 2007. Only 300 players, only 5 pitches. 2 of them were indoor pitches as well. It's in an arena.
Indoor beach pitches.
Well, they were covered.
Beach fields.
So
covered with sand?
They were covered with. It was in an arena,
right,
and it had a cover over it.
Interesting.
So, for all intents and purposes, it was an indoor. They were indoor sand pitches. The Brazilian midday heat is pretty intense, I hear. Even more intense than the Italian midday heat.
Let's give another shout out to the Americans here. USA Ultimate picked this team. Now shout out to the Philippines, mostly the Boracay Dragons here, of course, the club team from the Boracay. Do you know where they got their name, the Dragons, from? The Dragon Boat Racers.
Yeah, I heard about this.
And then 2001, I believe, a sponsor suggested that they hold some kind of beach tournament in Boracay to draw some fans and whatnot. They were going to put up some sponsorship logo. I think it was a soft drink company. And Win Simulan from Manila came down and said, well, you know what? Why don't we make it an ultimate tournament? They didn't specify whether they wanted some action. And then all he needed was an ultimate team. So he went and he recruited the Dragon Boat Racers, the guys that were perhaps maybe the better athletes on the island, and said, why don't you play this sport? And they said, we've never heard of it, but sure. They played it. They finished in the finals, lost in the finals, and said, you know what? We like this.
This is a lot of fun.
This is pretty cool. We did pretty well. Let's do this again. 10 years later, here they are, second time in the semifinals. Every tournament they go to, they compete. Semifinals. I keep saying that.
Final.
And they're rocking it, loving it.
And I think the 4-point gap in the ends of this final shows a big margin, but the Dragons will be happy with the way what they've achieved this week. They've made a lot of friends out here in Italy. They were so close to going out at quarter-final stage. They were 2 points down against the Canadians and managed to pull out, score their own O point, and then get 2 D blocks and scores to win the game in sudden death. And they then came past the Italians in a demolition job, really, and a very, very untypical Italian self-implosion. But having taken down, the Italians are one of the favourites for the tournament, and also given this USA team a good run for their money, I think they'll be happily going back to the Philippines with their silver medals and a lot of respect from the players around them.
Oh, absolutely. A great team, great bunch of guys, both sides, really.
I think the whole USA Ultimate fraternity, is that the right word? Probably not. The whole USA Ultimate setup needs to be congratulated for the support they've given this tournament, Tony. I think that's a big deal to send 6 teams to Europe for, with big squads, strong squads, and compete in every final.
Well, Tom, here's the deal: is the thought process in the United States is that in the 80s, beach volleyball became a really popular hit. And the Ultimate players sort of always regretted that maybe they thought they could be the fad sport that could take off. Instead, beach volleyball did. So now, 20, 30 years later, the powers that be recognize that, hey, this looks like an attractive sport. It's easy to play. You can get crowds out to the beach. It's fun. It's visible to people. Sponsorship is easily, accessible. This could be a new way to market, promote Ultimate. So they wanted to send their best here to Italy, and beach is going to be a new division in the United States. So they're going to try to promote beach, and it could be, what they hope to be a marketing or a sponsorship, advertising, some kind of opportunities exist there for beach version of Ultimate.
I think, Patrick van der Valk, the head of Bula, had been working, has been working very closely with WFDF. He has a seat on the WFDF board as well now to promote beach, and the World Flying Disc Federation recognise the saleability, the marketability of this style of the game. And we've been treated to some great spectacles this afternoon. The mixed game and this open final have been spectacular. We saw close games yesterday, and the women's final was a sudden death match as well. But the USA taking home 5 of the 6 gold medals and a silver in the mixed masters division. So Great Britain, the only team in the mixed masters division able to take off one of those gold medals and take that back to the UK.
It sure looked like Deutschland had that German team there in the mixed division. The USA was able to pull that out quite remarkably. So
yeah, the German mixed team have been strong all week, and I spoke to Sally Mims after that game.
Yeah.
They said they'd been scouting them all week and just trying to, very difficult because the games are so short and so many of them are at the same time as the opposition to go and scout other teams, but they've been trying their best. They knew the Germans were going to be the threat from the start of the week, and some of them were down here watching the Australia game the other night, but the Germans, winning spirit as well as a silver medal. That's a good week. That's a good week for German Ultimate. And pushing the USA as hard as they did in that final. They can't be disappointed. It was a great game, great clean game, just like the Open final. Very, very clean and friendly game. So wherever you are, we do hope you've enjoyed the coverage we've been able to bring you from the beaches of Italy. We'd like to thank our corporate sponsors. This game has been brought to you from the Discraft Arena. And we'd also like to thank 5 Ultimate and Hero Disc, and also Flashflight for their sponsorship. There's a whole load of other sponsors as well, our silver sponsors, and all their logos and links are at the top of the player that you're watching at the moment. Do take some time to find out who they are. Tournaments like this don't happen without the support of our commercial partners, and we really do appreciate their help. The technical team this week, as we're signing off, we should give thanks to all the people who have made this internet broadcast happen, particularly Tushar Singh and Rose Bendix from I Am Ultimate, doing a fantastic job sorting out all our technical difficulties, and Rose has been working the captions and making sure you can see all the scores and all the information on the screen all week. Quite often she's been stuck in a tent next to the pitch, unable to actually see the game, but she's been doing that for you guys, and we appreciate that and hope you do too. Camera for the rest of the week has been Sean Colfer, but today and yesterday for all our finals has been Patrick from the United Arab Emirates team. Patrick! Oh, he's too busy concentrating. Just turn the camera around to yourself.
See if you can figure this out.
So he's going to try and turn the camera around and point it at himself. That's Patrick. That's our cameraman. He's been doing all the finals today, and we only drafted him in on Thursday afternoon. Tony, he's been very, very helpful. Your commentators this week we've been had all sorts of people commentating. Myself, Tom Styles.
I'm Tony Leonardo.
My good friend Tony here. We've had Steve Giguere and Liz Garfinkel been helping us out as well, and we've had a couple of guest commentators during the week. Sachin Rayner covered one of the games. We had Randy Ricks came and covered one of the games as well. So we've had and then Hilko Burkema was along. So we've had all sorts of people bringing you the action and bringing you the footage. We'd like to thank also the tournament organisers. This week has been a real it's been a testing time because of the heat. Everyone's been tired. The tournament has run well. I think generally the players have been delighted with the facility. They've been happy with the conditions, just that having this many beach pitches in one place, and the way that things have run has been good. We'd like to thank the organisers for inviting us here in the first place.
Absolutely,
it's a great pleasure to come and talk about Ultimate to you guys at home, and we wouldn't get that opportunity without the support of the tournament organisers. Also,
Beulah, Wifdift.
Absolutely. So Patrick van der Valk, we should name some names. Patrick van der Valk from Beulah, Matt Cass, who's been involved in the tournament organiser, and Max and Matteo, Max
and Gemma
as well.
It's been a great crew. It's been a great time here, and we've all appreciated our time for sure.
So we're going to leave you now, wherever you are in the world. We hope you've enjoyed the coverage on the internet from the beaches of Italy. We'll be signing off. I'm Tom Styles.
Tony Leonardo here for Blockstack TV and the WFDF and Beulah World Championships of Beach Ultimate 2011. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned in 4 years. We'll be back again.
High five, Tony.
High five.
Will